Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always. So guys, I put a post out in my community tab last night about what President Putin's been saying. He has basically been offering Westerners a refuge, kind of a safe haven, for people who want to escape the woke ideology we are all living under at the moment, the extreme leftism that much of Europe and much of Western world is going through at this moment. And I asked you guys if you'd take it up on his offer. And I was very surprised at the response I got. I was expecting a little bit of pushback at least, but a lot of you were coming at me with replies like, where do I sign? I'm going to start packing. I'll do it in a heartbeat. A large majority of you were basically packing your bags, filling your pockets full of rubles, and heading east. So I thought I'd make this short video, guys, and just give you my current position on the subject at hand, really. Now, my current position is, and I must stress, my current position at this moment in time is, you couldn't force me out of this country. I was born here. I was bred here. I fully expected to die here. My kids are born here. My missus was born here. My parents were born here. My great-grandparents were born here. Even my great-great-great-grandparents were born here. So why would I want to leave? Now, I asked myself that question even before thinking about making this video for you guys. And I came up with some examples, some things that would make me want to leave, that would make me not want to live here anymore. So first and foremost, I have some percentages here going back to 1981. Now these percentages are the amount of British people, white British people, that we had in this country over the years. So starting in 1981, we had 95.4% white British in this country. Going on 10 years to 1991, we had 93.8%. A small drop off, but nothing really to write home about. 10 years after that, in 2001, we had 87%. Now that's quite the drop, isn't it? But what was it? It was coming to the end of Tony Blair's first term in government, when he flung open them floodgates and rubbed the right's nose in diversity. I think one of his aides was quoted in saying. 10 years after, in 2011, 79.8% white British in this country. That is a hell of a massive drop-off in 10 years. 10 years after that, in 2021, it was 73.5%. A massive downward trajectory that is not stopping anytime soon. It's still going on even to this day, even more. Immigration now, in this day and age, dwarfs even what Tony Blair was doing. 140,000 a year, I think it was, under Tony Blair. Now we're close to 1 million a year. Massive numbers. So in 2021, it was 73.5%. Let's add another 5 years on to where we are now. I predict we are in the 60s now-ish percent white British in this country. So let's just say I'm 40 years old now. At my retirement years, in my advanced years, in about 20, 30, 40 years time, what's it going to be like then? Well, the way things are going here, and the numbers that I've just presented to you, I predict we will be a minority in 30, 40 years time, ish. Do I want to live in a country where I'm a minority? I mean, this is England, UK. We're supposed to be full of British people, aren't we? I mean, like Pakistan, India, they're full of Pakistanis and Indians. You fully expect to see those sort of people within those countries, won't you? But not here, with the way things are going. In that certain amount of time, 30, 40, possibly 50 years, you will be few and far between when tourists come here. I mean, it's already like it in London. Americans go to London and they're asking people, where's the English people? Seriously. That's what they get asked, people around London, because we're so few and far between there. But it's going to spread across the entire country. Now that leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I don't want to live in a country like that. I don't want to live in a Demolition Man utopia where we start getting fined in the street for swearing. We are not allowed to eat salt, probably not even allowed to have sex with our partners anymore. I'm sure you've all seen Demolition Man. It's a bit satirical, but, you know, who knows where we're going to end up in 30, 40 years' time. So, taking all that into consideration, in that time frame, would I want to leave in my retirement age? I probably, yes, most probably would. At the moment, no, I don't. But in my advancing years, I don't think I'd like to die in this country. So let's have a look at the options, shall we? Of where we could go. Well, me personally, really. I've been thinking about this briefly. So first and foremost, option number 3, it would be Russia. Now, I'm not too sure about Russia. I'm not up on the knowledge of it, what it's like there, etc. All I've got is what Westerners have told me. I've never spoken to a Russian about what life's like there. A lot of Western people say it's a bit totalitarian, a bit regime-y, etc. But can it be any worse than what we're going through at the moment? I don't know. I'm not too sure. It's quite a pure nation. The Russians are known to be quite tough people. You know, the men wash the bollocks in ice water. They drink straight vodka for breakfast. I'm being a bit stereotypical there, just taking the piss. But you know what I mean. It seems like a sort of place I could quite fit into, if needed be. So yeah, that'd be one option, but I'd have to research a little bit more before I made my final decision. My second option is Poland. I'm not too sure why Poland attaches me to it, but it does. I've got a thing for Poland. Maybe it's got something to do with the fact of the videos that I saw quite a few years ago of Poland's border force taking care of their borders. They weren't letting in refugees and putting them in hotels. They were doing what border force are supposed to do. Protect the border. And they were protecting it very, very well from what I can remember. But my number one choice would be Hungary. I've always had a soft spot for Hungary over the last 15, 20 years. Connor Tomlinson from the Lotus Eaters has just recently been there for a visit with his missus. And he was saying on one of the podcasts that it was a beautiful country, nice, peaceful. They could walk through the city centre without looking over the shoulders, without him worrying about his missus getting groped or mugged, etc, etc. And he also said he didn't want to return to the UK. The thought of returning to London depressed him. Now that speaks absolute volumes, doesn't it? Someone who was born in London did not want to return. He said it was a cesspit. Hungary was like a palace. It was a beautiful country, and I've seen pictures of it. I've spoken to a couple of Hungarians over on X, and that does sound like my type of country. A lovely, nice, peaceful, low crime rate, hardly touched by immigration. Perfect for me, especially in my advanced years. Somewhere I'd like to go and end my days. That's about it, guys. I just thought I'd give you my 2 cents worth on the subject, because the replies I got to whether you'd go and move to Russia was quite surprising to me. So I thought it was only right that I'll let you know what I thought about the whole thing. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, guys. What would be your top 3 countries to consider if you ever did think about leaving the UK? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading them, and yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.